Hello everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. Just in case we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Today we're doing a nice full body flow, so find a little bit of space to move and let's get started. So I thought that we could begin today actually standing up at the top of our mats. So if you'd like to come to standing, and then you can decide how wide you want your feet or how close you want your feet together. We're just gonna roll your shoulders back and down. You can turn your palms to face forwards and give your fingers a little bit of a wiggle. And then we're just gonna kind of steady our gaze here. You might continue to spread your fingers wide and stretch your palms a little bit. And then you might try to lift your toes off of the ground, pushing into the rest of the feet. Let your shoulders fall from your ears. And then if you have your toes lifted, you might drive them, squeeze them down into the ground. Pretend your toes are like little claws that you want to push down into to kind of sturdy yourself. Why? Maybe because the heels will begin to lift. Ever so slightly. Steadying the gaze a little more, maybe spreading your fingers a little wider. Maybe pushing into your toes to lift your heels higher. If you do have your heels lifted any amount though, just start to bring them back down and maybe lift the toes again. If you're still spreading your fingers nice and wide, kind of relax your arms to your sides. Let your toes come down as well. You might take another shoulder roll, roll your shoulders back and down. And then with a big inhale, start to reach your arms up, maybe look up. And exhale as you slowly fold down. Take an inhale for a half lift. Lengthen your spine as you lift your chest. Exhale to fold forwards, and then inhale as you come all the way back up. Reach up and exhale, lower your arms down to your sides. Skip the shoulder roll, just inhale and reach up again. Exhale to fold forwards. As you inhale, lift halfway up. And exhale to fold back down. Inhale all the way up to standing. Reach up. Exhale, lower your arms to your sides. Stay standing, but maybe take a shoulder roll. And then your hands can either stay at your sides or maybe find your hips or your low back with your palms facing away. We're just gonna stay standing here. But this time I want you to let your chin fall down towards your collarbone. Soften your shoulders. Look to your toes maybe, or close your eyes. If it feels good to do so, you might roll your head over towards your left shoulder. Nice neck stretch, and then bring your chin back down and roll your head to your other shoulder. Gently bringing your chin down again. And then maybe you will keep your chin tucking down. Maybe you will keep your hands where they are and lift your toes. And then maybe drop your toes and try to lift your heels. Maybe you're still looking down. Maybe you're going to start to look forwards. Breathe. Balance. Smile. If you have your heels lifted any amount, just slowly, bring them down. Relaxing your arms to your sides. Roll your shoulders back and down. And then as you inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding forwards. Take an inhale as you lift halfway. And exhale to fold. This time, let's plant our hands and step all the way back into downward facing dog. Take a moment to push into your hands, sending your hips nice and high. Let your head get a little heavier. You might turn your chin over towards your left shoulder. And then bring it all the way over towards your right shoulder. And then take a peek towards your feet, towards your toes. You might try to lift your toes up. And then drop your toes down and lift your heels as high as you can. We're going to slowly lower our knees all the way down into tabletop. Your toes might be tucked under once your knees touch down, and you might end up in a toe squat. If your toes are not tucked under, you can tuck them under at any time. Maybe taking a seat back on the heels, reaching your arms up above you, maybe looking up too, and then bringing your hands all the way down to the floor, to your mat. Untuck your toes, give them a little tap or a little shake on the ground if you'd like, and then reaching your arms forwards and in front of you. Maybe from the fingertips, maybe from your palms, but with the hips staying high, let your chest start to lower down. If you're on your fingertips, you might float your elbows and your forearms for your puppy dog stretch. You might be looking down. You might be looking forwards. Using an inhale to lift back up though. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Give your hips a little bit of a sway side to side, and then tuck your toes and lift your knees into downward facing dog. Take a moment pushing into your hands again. Letting your hips be nice and high. Let's use a big inhale to look forwards. And exhale, walk your feet to the top of your mat. Once you get there, inhale for a half lift. And exhale to fold forwards. Inhale as you come all the way up to standing, reaching up. And exhale, lowering your arms down to your sides. Awesome, you guys. So stay standing one more time. This time, though, we might take our feet wide. We might turn our toes out a little bit. And then same thing. Arms to our sides, maybe hands to the hips, maybe hands to the low back. Start by lifting the toes, pushing into the rest of the foot or the feet. Then maybe your toes will come down, and maybe you'll try to float the heels, using your toes as little grips, little fingers, little claws. Now you can decide if you want to look down or forwards or up. If you have your heels lifted though, slowly bring them back down. Release your arms to your sides. Last time we were going to do that. Roll your shoulders back and down, and then using an inhale, reach up. Exhale as you fold forwards. Inhaling for a half lift. And exhale to fold back down. Plant your hands, step your feet all the way back and into your downward facing dog. Stay for a big inhale. As you exhale, lower your knees down to your mat again. Skip the toe squat. Just set up tabletop. You might take your hips for a little bit of a sway side to side first. And then we're going to be extending our left leg out to the side. So it might go back first, and then it might kind of come out to the side. Maybe you can push your toes or turn your toes to point forwards a little bit extra, trying to push your foot into the ground, stretching your leg a little bit. So you can stay on your hands with your chest lifted up, or you could drop down onto your forearms. Continue to push into your foot. Slow down for a moment. Now you can stay here, or you can lift back up onto your hands and then maybe reach forwards with the left arm, maybe on the fingertips. We're gonna lower our chest again. If you do feel good bringing the right arm out long in front as well, maybe from the fingertips or the palms, you can do both arms. Lowering your chest, either looking down or looking forwards. Still pushing into your left foot. And wherever you happen to be, just slowly lift your chest. Bring your hands under your shoulders if they're not already there. And then bring your left leg in as well. Giving your hips a little bit of a sway side to side. Shake it out a little. And then we'll just be switching. So your right leg, it might go back first and then sweep out to the side. Or it might go straight out to the side. Turn your toes to point forwards as best you can. Push into the foot. Maybe feel a stretch through the leg. If you want to lower your chest down, you can lower your chest down. Keeping your hips high. Find your breath. And then if you did want to go for the arm extensions, kind of our puppy dog stretch here, you could start with just the right arm reaching in front. And then maybe at the left, or just do the right arm from your fingertips or your palms. Just letting your chest get heavy. Look down or look forward. Push into your right foot. Breathe. And then letting an inhale lift you. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders again, and then sliding your right leg in as well, so that you end up in tabletop and take a little sway of the hips. We're gonna cross our ankles and sit down. Whenever you're ready to do so, you might give your knees a hug or squeeze. Maybe a little rock side to side. And then we will be bringing our right leg out long. And our left foot, it can find the inner thigh to start. Lengthening through the spine and pointing your toes up. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, you can start to fold forward. Now, if you are folding, let's use an inhale to lift back up. We're just gonna take our left leg, plant our foot, and so our knee is pointing up. You can hold your knee somewhere, just plant your left foot beside your right leg, point your right toes up again, sit tall. We're gonna take a twist over towards the left side, so maybe your right hand can hold your knee as your left hand pushes into the ground behind you, and then point your right toes up again. Using an inhale, you can start to bring your chest forwards. You can send your left leg out and bring your right foot to your inner thigh. Inhale to lengthen the spine, point your left toes up. And then if you'd like to fold forwards, you can start to fold forward, just a moment. To feel the stretch through the leg. Letting an inhale bring you back up if you are folding. And then we can plant our right foot beside the left leg, holding the knee, pointing the toes up again, lengthening through the spine. If you'd like to twist, you can start to turn your chest to the right, maybe pushing the ground away, pointing your left toes up again when they start to relax on you. And then with an inhale, start to turn back to face forwards. Either send your legs out long or hug them in towards your chest, but maybe taking a rock side to side. So we're going to be coming back over into one more toe squat. If you would like to join me. Now for that first one, I kind of had my feet hip width apart, my knees hip width apart, but I'm going to snug everything together. I'm going to bring my big toes close, my knees close, tucking all of your toes under. You can always keep some weight in your hands, or you can sit back on your heels and really go for it. Letting your shoulders fall from your ears, and then maybe starting to reach your arms up. Now, if your arms are free to move, let your right hand hold your left wrist above you. Create a little extra length through the left side as you tip over towards the right. Come back through center. Hold your right wrist with your left hand. A little bit of length, a little bit of a lean, a little bit of a pull on your hand. And then slowly come back up. Let your arms fall. Bring your hands all the way to the ground. Come off of your toes. Give them a little shake or a little bit of a tap. And then we're just going to finish off today in child's pose. So if you want to bring your knees out nice and wide, maybe a little push into the hands to send the hips back to the heels. Maybe a little bit of a sway of the shoulders. You can eventually melt it all the way down though, resting your forehead. Closing your eye. Softening through your body. Now you can stay here longer. Or you could start to move. But I will leave you here today in your child's pose. Thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, namaste.